Hello to everybody who is joining in. We will get started in just a minute. Awesome. We have everybody just jumping in right now. We'll get started in just a second. Awesome. A lot of familiar faces or names on the screen. I don't see faces today, but hello to everybody. Great. We'll give it one more minute before we get started. Just make sure any additional people who are waiting to jump in will jump in. And we will get started. Yeah, no problem, Levi. Thank you for that kind message. So I think we can get started now. First of all, welcome everybody. Thank you for attending the STEM 2.0 webinar. We're going to spend the next 30 minutes giving a quick overview of all the new features that are included in the STEM 2.0 firmware update. For those who are not aware of it, the STEM 2.0 is already out there and available. Anybody who has STEM products already within their environment and organization can already update their devices to STEM 2.0 and start enjoying all the new features that are included in it. For those who don't know, STEM 2.0 has been a project that our team has been working on for a very long time. It's really our big moment for our engineering team of taking the STEM ecosystem to the next level and introducing a lot of new features that we're gonna go over here today. So what's included in STEM 2.0? There's a lot of things in here, and we're gonna go over the key ones. And this, just so everybody knows, this slide deck will be shared with everybody who's attending after, and there's gonna be a slide that'll also include all the release notes, but we're gonna focus on the main features that are included in the STEM 2.0 firmware release. So first thing that we're introducing with STEM 2.0 is the ability to now have up to 10 devices working together in one room. What that basically means is you can take any one of our 3 audio components, the ceiling, table, wall, mix and match them however you want, up to 10 devices, and have them work together. Join, and we're going to dive a bit more into that in a second. Join and split rooms. This now introduces new environments where STEM can be a great solution for your organization. Rooms that need to be either divided or joined together in certain periods now can be utilized with the STEM ecosystem with our join and split rooms feature. We're also going to be introducing better audio performance overall throughout the whole ecosystem, through all the components, through a lot of new things that we're introducing. And, which is always important for everybody, we enhanced some new security features that are built into the STEM ecosystem and the way our products communicate with each other and with the world. So let's dive into the first feature. So 10 audio devices working together. Why is that important? The message of STEM has always been about giving IT professionals and system integrators the freedom to take these devices and do whatever they want with them in any room that they have. And we're really doubling down on the promise of having any room. Having 10 devices in a room allows you to scale up to even large auditoriums like we have here on the screen right now, or even all hands meeting type areas within an organization. There's no limit really on the size now that you can have up to 10 devices working together in a room. What's really important to mention is that in addition to being able to support 10 devices working together, the ecosystem also supports having both SIP and video conferencing working simultaneously within that setup. So there's no limitation really on what form of communication you'd like to use or how many devices you'll need to put in a room. So 10 devices, that is a new, exciting feature that we're introducing right now with STEM 2.0, and making it available to every one of our users. So if you had a room where you always wanted to add one more device in right now, you can easily do that right now with STEM 2.0, once you update your units, of course. Next, join and split rooms. So joining and splitting rooms, it's an obvious need and feature that we've been getting a lot of requests for since day one that STEM came out. Users have been coming to us and saying, hey, I have this room that sometimes we split it into 2 meeting rooms, or we have the need in some cases to expand it to add more coverage in that room. We'd really like to have an easy way to be able to do that. So with join and split rooms, we made it as easy as it possibly can be. There's no programming needed. It's a simple preset that you can easily set up by pairing rooms. A little bit about some of the limitations around it. So you can have up to 4 rooms that you can pair together, which is going to cover, I would want to estimate, 99% of the use cases that are out there, or up to 10 devices. So based on the amount of rooms that you have, or the amount of devices that you have in the rooms, that's a better way to look at it. You can know how many rooms you can pair together. So for example, if you have a room with 5 devices, and then you have a room with 3 devices, and then another room with 2, that's great. You can pair and join all those rooms together. You hit the max of 10 rooms, and you're under 4 rooms of pairing. Hopefully that makes sense. We're going to be putting out more videos and more content around it as well, just to really highlight how it's done. Also, it's important to know that once you do your join and split setup for the first time, it gets saved within the ecosystem, and then you simply have, at a press of a button, the ability to go back and set up that join and split based on the needs that you have in the room. Now, let's jump over to the next slide over here. I want to maybe dive a little bit deeper into how it actually happens. So the first thing that you need to do when you're looking to join a room together, 2 rooms together, is decide which room is going to be your main room. So your main room is simply going to be the first room you select. There's no need to program anything or tell the system this is my main room. The reason that we define it as the primary room or the main room, and simply so that our system knows which video conferencing or which VoIP SIP enabled room we should be utilizing out of the 2 rooms or more that we're going to be pairing. So the first room you select, that's the room that we're going to be using the communication for. So all you do after that, you're going to have, once you update your devices to STEM 2.0, you're going to see a button on the screen now that'll give you the option to join rooms. Has a really simple icon that comes along with it. And once you do that, it's going to pop up a list of all the rooms that you have within your organization. It's a very similar experience to how we pair devices. So for those who have already installed STEM devices in their rooms, it's a very similar experience to that. You're just simply going to have a list. You select the rooms you want to pair, press on the check mark, and voila, you just grouped the room. So it's that simple to be able to do it. To split a room, all you need to do is just press the split room, and those rooms will automatically go back to exactly the way they were before that. I'm going to take a moment to go over some of the questions that that have come through. So one question that has come up is how many SIP lines when combined separated. So each room that you set up, you can have you can connect a SIP line to it. And whatever your primary room will be, your first room, your main room, that's where the SIP enabled device will use. So each room can have its own VoIP phone line, and based on that, you can, so it's basically one for the combined, and for when it's separated, each room can have its own line. And once you go to the split, it'll automatically go back to that setting. You don't have to reconfigure anything after your initial setup of each room. Do you need a hub per room? Yes, you'll be needing to use a hub in each one of those rooms. And USB audio and then paired on one device. I'm not sure I understand the question about the USB audio. Let me get back to that in a bit just to make sure I address all the other questions that are coming in here over the split and combine. Yeah, there's a question about some additional commands that will be available. Yes, there are going to be some additional APIs become available so that people can utilize, other ways and mechanisms to be able to utilize the same feature. As of right now, the list will be of all your rooms. That's an interesting question. Somebody's asking if I can limit the list of rooms that'll come up. As of right now, it'll be all the rooms. The initial setup of how we envision this being used, it'll be used by whoever's managing the rooms when setting up a room before a meeting that'll happen over there, and that way it'll easily be able to be put into place. Again, there's another question being asked here, any option to restrict the rooms? As of right now, all the rooms will show up over there, but that's, hear you loud and clear on that being a feature that may be interesting to add as well. Yes, Idan is asking, since he's using a STEM audio device to connect to this call today, if he can get a STEM t-shirt, on its way to you. Awesome. When joining rooms, great. So I'm, if you guys don't mind, I'm gonna continue going on just because we're a little limited on time. There's a lot of questions over here and we're gonna make sure to answer all of them. But I do wanna continue to the other features before we move on to the next one. One second, here we go. Great. So enhanced security. I think the main aspect that I really want to make sure that we highlight to everybody over here. So we are introducing end-to-end encryption between the devices and how our devices communicate with each other in order just to make sure that in a variety of different crazy scenarios that you guys can imagine of security breaches that can happen within an organization, the communication between our devices will always be secure. Nobody can log into it and listen to a call or do anything with it. So no matter how many devices you have in the room and the way now our devices communicate with each other, all the communication between them is completely encrypted. So that just keeps your data and information secure and your calls secure between our devices. I'm going to jump quickly into the better audio performance aspect of it. I think this is a really, really key aspect of STEM 2.0. At the end of the day, we are an audio component, and in addition to all the features and benefits and the value that we provide our customers through the ecosystem approach that we've introduced with STEM audio, it's really important to constantly always make sure that we're providing great audio as well. With STEM 2.0, one of the key aspects that we've introduced is improved network latency between the STEM endpoints. There's a lot of advantages to having that improved latency between the devices, but one of the key ones that we're now able to do is to enhance all of the algorithms that are running on our DSPs that are embedded into our devices. So that means better echo canceling, improved noise canceling. That means that we can run more powerful, stronger algorithms for the echo cancellation, more tail length, and more filters that'll be introduced within it. And in addition to that, some additional key features on the AGC performance that we're introducing and adding into STEM 2.0. So overall, due to some really heavy lifting that our engineering team has been doing for the last few months, we're now able to introduce not only some key new features within the ecosystem, but also enhanced audio experiences. At the end of the day, that's the most important thing that anybody wants in a meeting, right? You want to make sure that everybody is heard and you can speak freely throughout a meeting and not have to worry about anything that has to do with audio. So with STEM 2.0, better audio performance is there. Let's move on to the next slide now. Now, this is a feature that it's really important that I really want to touch on, and then we can usually leverage some of the time remaining to go over some questions. But now with STEM 2.0, we're introducing new individual speaker and microphone mute. This is a feature that has been asked from many, many customers of ours who have wanted it to be able to really customize their audio in the room the way they like it. At the end of the day, that's the promise of STEM. It's the ability to customize any room the way you want it. Now with STEM 2.0, any device now, you can control which microphone or speaker will be active within that device. So there's some use cases that come to mind immediately to me right now. For example, if you have a larger size room where you have a wall device that's sitting in the front of the room, but you may have a table in the back of the room, You may want to use that table only for additional pickup in the room and not necessarily speaker output. Many users that I know love having audio come from the front of the room. So now with STEM 2.0, you can easily, by a press of a button, disable the speaker in the table unit that is covering the back of the room and only use its microphone, while all the audio will come from the front of the room from the wall device. So this is just an extra layer of customization that is now available through the STEM ecosystem, and it just gives our users the ability to really customize any room exactly the way they want. So I want to show you guys real quick how to actually do it within the ecosystem. It's really, really simple. It's a simple setting within the advanced setting. So also remember, this type of setup is not something that one would want to do on the fly. This is something that when you're initially setting up a room, and for your users who are going to actually be using your conference rooms, you're going to set it up exactly the way they want, or you want to set it up for them. So that's why it's in the advanced settings. How do you do it? Once you go into your room, you press on the advanced setting button. You're going to see now on the bottom of the advanced setting screen, when you scroll down, you're going to have mute controls. And basically what's going to show up for you at that point is all the audio devices will automatically populate in this box over here. So if you look at the room that we have set up, we have 3 audio devices. We have a ceiling, table, and wall. All 3 of them showed up in the mute controls. And then all you need to do is just press the button for either mute mic or mute speaker, and that's how you can do it. Now, as you can see, for ceiling, there's only a mute mic because ceiling is only a microphone device. So there wouldn't be much of a point to mute a ceiling microphone because you have it in the room. But you know what? There may be a specific meeting where you have a device that's in the back of the room that you want to mute it for whatever reason. Therefore, you can control each one of your devices and really just customize your rooms exactly the way you want them to be functioning and working. So I'm going to spend some time now going through some of the questions that have come through over here. Again, if I miss anybody's questions, because we do have a limited time today, we didn't want to overwhelm with too long of a webinar. We will make sure to get back to you and answer them. So there are a lot of questions here about combining rooms. And there's a question here about hub. Yeah, so there's a great question here about pairing rooms with external speakers, and I think that's important to address. Yes, once you combine a room and the main room may have external speakers connected to it, that hub will work with those external speakers just the same. It doesn't disconnect from it in any way. It'll just simply add the additional devices to work with it. Yeah, there's a question about the STEM 2.0 update. Maybe I'll mention a couple things about that as well. STEM 2.0 update, you're going to have to update each individual device to the STEM 2.0 firmware. Just a heads up on it, because this is such a big firmware update that we're releasing right now, this firmware update will take slightly longer than previous firmware updates on your device. The time that it goes between, depending on the device, is between 10 to 12 minutes to update the device. So obviously do it in off hours when people aren't using it. The main reason maybe why I'm also mentioning this aspect of it, don't think that something went wrong if suddenly you realize that the firmware update is taking a little longer than expected. It's totally normal. Yes, and to Alexei, who's asking about the firmware update, yes, STEM 2.0 is available right now. Anybody can update their devices. One attendee is asking if they can access these additional features through the web interface in addition to the STEM control. Now, all the images that I showed on the screen were through, or in the most part, were through our STEM control. But the answer is yes, everything is available on the web interface as well. Any device that has the firmware update 2.0 will have all these features embedded into it. I have a question here that's asking what is the advantage of joining rooms versus having each room join conferencing individually. In honesty, I can't answer that question. It's completely up to the customer. There are people who like to bring everybody into one room rather than have 2 rooms join into it, just so that there's better synergy, maybe better collaboration. But 100%, the point of STEM is at the end of the day to give the customers the freedom to do whatever they want. So we add features, and whoever wants to use it in any way they want to use it, we're excited and happy for it. I'm getting a few questions about sound reinforcement. At the moment, sound reinforcement is not part of the STEM 2.0 features that we're going to be introducing. It is something that is on the roadmap that we're looking at and looking more into it. I will just say, as many of you guys know, with our recent acquisition of Shure of STEM Audio, I can happily say that Shure have a lot of solutions that address the voice lift type of environment through all their variety of different wireless microphones, handheld microphones, and all those different solutions that are available in that ecosystem of the Microflex products. But at the moment, the STEM ecosystem doesn't have a solution for voice lift. I would say, however, STEM does probably address all the 95% of other rooms that are within within an organization. I have a question here about product roadmap, if there are any new devices on the roadmap, and the answer is absolutely yes, Mark, and you can expect an announcement coming very soon on that front. CJ, I hear you have a question here about updating your devices. We'll make sure to put you in touch with our customer happiness team, and they will happily walk you through the process of updating your devices. I'm getting also a lot of questions here about APIs, and for the ecosystem, APIs is 100% something that is in our roadmap to be able to allow our users to use any third-party controller that they would like to use, or to use it for a variety of different applications that may be out there. Stay tuned for some news on that front, hopefully coming very, very soon. I'm going to continue scrolling through the questions just to make sure that I didn't miss any important questions. Yeah, there's a question here about the mic coverage of a split and join room. So the mic coverage will stay the same as you have it set up before. So basically, when you split and join rooms, what you're going to be doing is going to be taking the devices and how you set them up in, let's say, room B, and it'll combine it into room A as well. The main aspect that you're going to be enjoying is going to be taking all that pickup of all those devices, and it'll be sent all to that one hub that is going to be your either video conferencing or SIP call interface to the outside world. Okay, I'm just going through the questions over here. Again, there's another API question coming up over here about an Extron controller. Once an API is available, yes, you'll be able to utilize an Extron controller as well. Great. Going through the questions. If anybody has any more questions, if not, I can go back to it. So this is the additional notes that are part of the STEM 2.0 firmware update. One thing also to be mindful of, that units that are going to be shipping later this year, there's also going to be some improved boot up times. Each device, once you connect it, power it up, connect it to the network, it'll take it 36 seconds to be boot up and ready to go. So that's an improved feature to it, to the STEM, through STEM 2.0. This will require, this wouldn't be relevant to units that are updated out there in the field. So if you currently have a STEM device, that STEM device, once you update it to 2.0, will not have faster boot up times. But once you buy a new room, we'll give an exact date, hopefully later this month. But units that will ship out in Q2 will have the built-in faster boot up time as well. Great. If anybody has any more questions, this is the perfect time to throw them in right now, and we can kind of hash them out. But again, just to go over all the key features of STEM 2.0. So now you can have 10 devices working together in the room. You can divide and combine rooms, join them, split them however you want, up to 4 rooms or 10 devices. You're going to have a better audio experience through our enhanced algorithms of better echo canceling, better AGC, better noise canceling, and improved security. And of course, the extra feature that I mentioned at the end, which is the ability now to mute both microphones and speakers individually and customize your room however you want. Billy, I see your question about an issue that you ran into of some noise issues of a device on the ecosystem. Again, I would strongly suggest to get in touch with our customer happiness and tech support. Our team is constantly, if you ran into a certain bug, just like any device that's out there in the world probably has bugs in it, they're constantly fixing and improving the devices. And STEM 2.0 really is a huge upgrade on a lot of different fronts within the STEM ecosystem. How about if the rooms are using the audio from the ceiling speakers? That's a great question, Doug, about if you have two rooms that are leveraging external speakers. I'm going to actually have to double check and look into that one. I didn't think about that specific scenario, so I'll make a note of that and get an answer for you on that one. There's a question here about Teams integration into our controller as well. That's something that is definitely on our roadmap that we're looking to add into the STEM ecosystem as well, of course. Great, I have some more questions coming in over here. I just want to thank everybody for all these questions. This is absolutely fantastic. So let me just make sure, I just want to hit on the important ones that are coming through over here. Do you have a way to output audio to another speaker system? So if anybody ever needs the mic pickup of the room to be sent somewhere else, on our Dante connection that is on the hub, it's in single channel in and out. I am aware of many customers, not many, but of customers who leverage Dante to analog connections and use that audio out or that mic pickup of the room to send to whatever application, to whatever device that they need or wherever they want to send the audio. Are there any ideas about adding the ability to control other AV devices through the STEM control? The answer is absolutely yes to that. On the STEM roadmap, we envision this ecosystem being able to do everything that you need the conference room to do, right? So that can mean, to the example you brought up, controlling AV devices, but it can also mean a lot of different other applications. We're already working on quite a few very interesting collaborations in this space in order to enhance the experience of using the STEM ecosystem. There's a question here about what happens if you have more than 10 devices and you're pairing multiple rooms. The answer is it simply won't work. It won't let you get to that place. It'll tell you have either too many devices, too many rooms, one of the two, to block you from doing that. Yeah, we're getting close to our end time. So if there's any additional questions. When the room is split, will the lights on the mics that are not in the main zone be turned off or go to red? When the rooms are split, the rooms will just act as individual rooms. So if there's a room that's not in use, so let's say you have two rooms that are joined together and then you split them and then only room A is being used and room B is not being used, room B, nothing will happen. Those microphones won't show any indication because it knows it's not in a meeting. Only the ones that are actually being used will show you the lights based on the mic pickup, or if it's in a mute, then you'll have the red light as well. Hopefully that answered your question. I'm going to take a quick look at the Q&A just to see if there are any questions there that I need to add. There's a lot of inquiries over here about customers who are looking to add or update their existing units to STEM 2.0. No problem at all. You can either do it on your own through the advanced settings just to update the units. You can schedule a time over there, or Our customer happiness team would be more than happy to jump on a call with anybody, sit one-on-one, be with you on the phone, and walk you through updating all your devices in all your environments. One thing I would mention that is really, really important in regards to updating, and I probably should have mentioned this earlier, when updating devices, please make sure to update it on a room basis rather than on the products that you have within your organization. What do I mean by that? If you have a large conference room that has devices, has, let's say, 2 tables and a wall, and then a smaller room that has a table, don't first update the tables and then at a different date update the wall unit. Devices that are updated to the STEM 2.0 firmware are then going to only be able to work with other devices that are on the STEM that are updated to the STEM 2.0 firmware. Therefore, always do it on a room basis. That means go room by room within your organization and update those devices and then move on to the next room. The main reason that you'd want to do that is just to make sure that you never have rooms that are out of commission while you're going through this upgrade process. And again, you can either do it manually or you can schedule this through our system to any hour in the day that you want where you know that your rooms are offline. There's a question here just about just a network firewall FAQ document where yes, our support team do have a lot of documentation on that front, and we'll be happy to share that, Pedro. Steve, to your question, the recommendation that I've received from the team, and I've seen much success from our customers who have already updated, go room by room. That's the best way to go about it. So tackle it. You can start with the hub, and then from the hub move to the devices in the room. That's no problem. But just make sure that you're updating a room altogether rather than going by a product line. There was, just for the simple reason, if you know, an IT manager just goes by, I'm going to update all the table units within my organization, he may run into an issue where he'll have momentarily 2 devices in a room that won't be able to see each other and work together. There's some more questions here about the roadmap of products, about new products. We have a lot of things on our roadmap right now. I can't share too much about what additional products you're going to be seeing in the near future, but I can assure you many products are going to be coming very soon to the STEM ecosystem. Fantastic. So I'd like to thank everybody who was able to join into this call today and spend your time. We had a lot of attendees here. I'm pretty sure that this is a record of amount of attendees. So honestly, from the bottom of my heart, we really everybody here at STEM really appreciates everybody's excitement in regards to our new STEM 2.0 firmware. Like I mentioned at the beginning, huge kudos is deserved to our engineering team who has been working on this for a very long time and have really put something together that has been, I think, to a certain extent, revolutionary in our ability now to really take some features that have been really complicated in the past in the AV industry and made them really simple with a huge amount of flexibility for anybody to be able to install it. So thank you, everybody, for attending. There's going to be a lot more content coming out in the next few weeks in regards to STEM 2.0, videos that'll explain each one of those features and showcase how to really implement them. And thank you again for attending and being part of this webinar.